Good afternoon. My name is Matt Grubasich. I'm a council member here in Rowlett, and I'm here today with Larry Glick. He is the winner, the very first winner for 2020 of the Spirit of Rowlett Award. Congratulations, and thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you.
So, starting off, it's a new year. How long have you lived in Rowlett now?
We moved here from Dallas in the summer of 1984.
It probably looked a lot different back then.
Very different. We moved to a street called Toller Road, and in our backyard there were cows, lots of cows. There was a guy who was on the phone one day, and he was driving down the street with a horse and buggy.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, wow, this is the country. But it was very cool, very cool. Not quite the way it is now, though.
No.
Yeah.
So since then, you have been very, very involved
Yes.
in the city. You've served on many boards and commissions, and tell me about some of your service. I know you've been an inspiration to me throughout the years. Really, and one of the reasons why I got into serving in the city. So tell me a little bit about how you've helped shape the city moving forward.
I realized driving over here today that this is my 5th decade of serving the city of Rowlett, which is, I think it's pretty cool. So it started really in the late 80s with trying to protect some trees here, also talking about some of our parks. I'm a big birder, and I had written some articles that got some national reputation about where our birds were in Rowlett, and the Rowlett Community Park, the Rowlett Nature Trail were big birding habitats, and people came here to see the birds there. Then I got involved with what was then called the Highway 190 Committee, which later became George Bush, and I headed that committee. And then in 1993, I was appointed to Planning and Zoning Commission. And a year later, in 94, I became chair and chaired that for the next 11 years. So that was quite a while. During that time, I guess I served on 3 comprehensive plan committees, and that was really exciting. You and I served on another one, so that was my 4th.
Holy smokes.
Also, as the 90s progressed, a developer named Philip Huffines and his twin brother Donald came to Rowlett and talked about a new planned development in the Northeast Quadrant, very, very exciting, and they wanted to have a golf course as part of that development. And so I had a background in golf, and I was appointed head of that committee.
Yeah.
And that lasted until today. We have a meeting tomorrow morning of the golf committee. And to see that growth come to that quadrant and everything that was promised, and a great new golf course coming into play. So that was really exciting. Then I was term limited. So I had served 12 years, from 93 to 2005. And I'm thinking I wanted to keep serving. I wanted to keep serving the city. And there happened to be an opening on the Garland School District. There was someone had gotten sick, and they put out an advertisement for people to apply. So I applied, thinking, oh yeah, I'm going to get the position. But I think 12 other people applied, and they didn't pick anybody. But I became very interested in it. I had worked at the different schools my kids were in a lot, and I said, this seems really interesting. So I decided to run for the school board in 2007. And now I'm serving. I just started serving my 5th 3-year term. So this is my 13th year on the board.
Wow.
I've been president 3 times, vice president 3 times. It's really, really exciting. It's one of the largest districts in the state. I think it's probably 13th largest in the state, and probably the 60th largest in the country. So it's a big district. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of hard work. Some of the other things I've done, again, I served with you on Imagine Rowlett, which was the 4th Comprehensive Plan Committee. Mayor Guttell appointed me to the Rebuild Rowlett after the terrible tornado hit the day after Christmas several years ago. So it's been really exciting. It's really exciting.
4 comprehensive plans. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's you start thinking about that's crazy. You really have been able to have your hands and kind of shape how this city has transformed. And as that's happened over the time, I mean, I guess tell me some things that you've liked where the city has gone, and maybe some things you think we could do a little bit better on.
I think it's really exciting where we're at right now. So when I was on P&Z, I looked at what I called the northern district. It didn't really have a name back then. And it was about 1,000 acres. And I said, why don't we protect this land for the future? Because we're very much a home community. We have very little business.
Right.
We have rooftops, but we don't have tax base from businesses. And luckily that idea took flight, and I was able to convince the other commissioners and the council. And so we took the 1,000 acres. Back then I called it the Technology Research District. I named it, was fun. And now we call it the North Shore District.
Yep.
But it's the future of our city.
Yep.
Back then, it was a dream that George Bush was going to, it was 190, was going to come right through the middle. Think about having 1,000 acres in the northeast quadrant of Dallas County.
Yep.
I can get to DFW without any traffic early in the morning in like 40 minutes. That amount of acreage does not exist in this county anywhere else, literally. And that's the future. And then one of the other things I got involved in, since as I said I'm a big birder, one of the places I used to go birding was what's called Elgin Robertson Park.
Yep.
And it was a flyway. People didn't understand. Flyway is where birds will come, mainly from Central and South America, come across the lake, and they needed a place to stop. And they would stop in Elgin Robertson Park.
Yep.
And so I knew the park real well, but I also knew, being there many, many days, that I had almost never met anybody from the city of Dallas.
Right.
Nobody. I mean, and this was a city of Dallas park. So I said, what if Dallas doesn't want this park? They really don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's a major place for economic development. So through some contacts that I had, I was able to get in touch with Laura Miller, who was then the mayor of Dallas.
Yep.
And I started the process. And now we have not only Bayside on the north, but we have a wonderful Sapphire Bay on the south.
Yep.
And that's going to be incredible.
It's going to be incredible.
It's going to put Rowlett truly on the map. It's going to be great for everybody who lives here to be able to say, yeah, that's my city.
Exactly
that's
right.
my city. All this stuff that's going to be there, yeah, that's where I live.
And being able to hold to that plan for the North Shore, then you'll have the north and the south side of the city just really booming. It's just, there is, like you said, there's no other place in Dallas County that can say that.
No,
so
nowhere else.
The potential is just unbelievable
Nowhere
for what
else.
we have here in
Nowhere
the city.
else.
Just making sure that we protect it for what it is.
Yeah, it's so exciting.
Yep.
It's so exciting. And that's where I see the future of the city going.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So I got to talk to you about something that's close and dear to my heart,
okay.
and that's your passion for trees.
Yes, sir.
As everybody knows, I've kind of become the tree czar in this city, which is a good thing.
Good.
So how many trees do you think you've planted in how many countries?
Oh, okay. Well, what happened in the city was, so I was chair of P&Z, this is probably 95 or 96. And because I couldn't read blueprints and all these plans, I walked every property that came before P&Z. And it was good exercise, but it was a lot of fun. So we had this huge property along Miller Road that came in. And I got the plans, I went out on Friday, and I walked in, but I couldn't complete the whole thing. I knew I'd come back on Sunday. I came back on Sunday, parked my car, but I knew where I parked. I parked the same place, but it looked different. Between Friday night and Sunday morning, the developer had come in and take out 3 magnificent pecan trees, 100-year-old pecan trees, and I was in shock.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over to the mayor's house. I woke him up. This is Sunday morning. What are you doing here? I said, they just took out these 3 trees. He said, well, go talk to the planning director. So I woke him up. Okay. It's not one of my better days. I was mad. And he said,
watch out.
Yeah. So I went over to him and I said, can they do that? And he said, yes, they can.
Mm-hmm.
He said, we don't have anything to prevent them. So I wrote what's one of the first tree ordinances in the United States, and we protected trees. So because I'm a birder and I love trees, as I travel around the world, one of the things I do is I plant trees. It's every country I go to, I try to plant trees. I was just in Lebanon.
Yeah.
I planted the famous cedars of Lebanon in Lebanon. I planted a whole mangrove forest on the island of Bali in Indonesia.
Wow.
Yeah, so just like that. It's a way to give back to the community, or to the world, really.
You know, one of my favorite quotes is, the best time to plant a tree was 30 years ago. The next best time is today.
Yes.
And I think that serves well to you too, because you've served this city for well over 30 years.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be what it is without you. And so happy that you're a part of the city and you continue to be involved. So again, congratulations.
Thank you.
On being our first recipient of the Spirit of Rowlett Award in 2020. And we look forward to planting more trees.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Do you know someone who makes a difference in Rowlett? Nominate them for the Spirit of Rowlett Award at rowlett.com/spirit.